Hey guys, it's Babypowder, and yes, I know what you're saying. Finally, coming out with another farm video. I know, and I've been mentioning that I've had one coming, and I do plan on doing more, guys. Sorry, I was actually planning on having this video out last week, but I ended up getting really sick and just really didn't feel like doing anything after working. But it is finally here. And I have actually filmed some spoilers out there on stream that it was probably going to be on Wildvine. It is on the Wildvine farm, which I know I've done a video on Wildvine already. But that was showing you how to do it with two 5-man groups, because I didn't think that I would actually be able to pull it off with just an 8-man group. I've tried it multiple times, tried readjusting, positions and everything, could never get it to work before. And it wasn't until by accident where it ended up, we had two people coming along with me to the Wildvine farm on one of the streams, and one person wasn't able to make it. And me and Scrog were actually out here, so big shout out to Scrog because he helped point out a position where I could actually hit two more mobs so that we could actually pull this off. And it allowed me to figure out a way to get this to, be an 8-man farm. I did have to readjust one other potato, which I'll point out as well. But yeah, big shout out to Scrog. Thank you for the assistance. It definitely made it to where it's possible now to 8-man this farm, which is awesome because now I can do it even if I can't get anybody to come along with me, which, don't get me wrong, I love it when you guys join me, but it's just nice being able to have that ability to do it whenever I want to, because I really enjoy doing this farm. But anyway, guys, yeah, so we'll probably even update the showcase video on the channel to this one, so you guys can actually have an updated one anyway when you come to the channel, and you can see how it's done with just an 8-man group. Alright guys, so here we are, we're at the Wildvine farm. Now if you haven't ever seen it, it is right here in STV, down here at the bottom, right here. And of course, I do have, like I said, the other video where it's with two 5-man groups. If you have 10 people, it's still great positioning and everything if you have two 5-man groups to come out here and do this. But if you only have 8, or you want to switch the spots up, this is definitely possible with just an 8-man group. I've done it for an hour now, and I actually did this weekend on stream. Me and Scrog did it again because I wanted to compare the numbers, because I did this 1 hour by myself after we did the 9-man, and I wanted to compare, and it seemed like I was getting less Wildvine, but I think I found out the cause to that, which, I mean, still, it's a very rare material. It only drops off certain mobs, and they still only have a chance to drop it, so you could still have numbers that vary anyway, just because of that factor, because even though it's a material, there's still RNG that takes effect. But still, it's to a point you should get around similar numbers when you're doing material farms, you would think. But anyway, as far as where this farm is, STV right down here, and there's a couple of positions you need to make sure are exact in order to get this to work with the 8-man group. Like I said, I mean, before, it's been kind of hard to, I've struggled with trying to figure out a way to get this to work until I had Scrog's help. But with that being said, I mean, there are a couple positions where you're really at the max distance of your reach with your Sunfire or whichever spell you're using in order to get to hit every single mob you need to hit with that potato. So one of them is actually this first potato where square is. You need to make sure your potato is in this exact spot right here, and it's kind of lined up with this bonfire, this little thing right here. Let me see if I can get the coordinates for you guys. Let's see, we are located at 5873, it looks like. And it's just making sure, if you really don't want to pay attention to the coordinates, you need to make sure you can hit these two mobs right in front of this cave right here, as you see I'm doing now, and be able to hit this one over here. That's the difficulty part, is making sure you're hitting those and this one right there. And as long as you're hitting both of those, then you're good to go. The problem is if you go too far towards the cave to hit these mobs, you'll miss this one. If you go too far this way to hit this one, you'll miss the mobs in front of the cave, basically. So let's go ahead and fly around a little bit. Your next potato is right here, right in front of, and actually let me get these dismounted so you can see these better as far as where they're located. Sorry, I was going ahead and clearing out the loot. So let me get them down on the ground so you can see where they're actually standing better. But anyway, this one's right here in front of this little encampment, and you see there's like 2 encampments right here. And there's a good majority of mobs in these encampments. So you want to make sure you have this one right outside here, because the reason why you don't want to put him inside is he is able to hit every single one of the mobs inside, but he also needs to hit the mobs outside the encampment as well. All right, our next one for the first group, because still with an 8-man group, you're gonna have a 5-man group, and then you're gonna have a 3-man group. So your next one, which this is the other spot that needs to be exact. See, in my video from before, which you might notice, guys, I actually had the potato standing back here to hit this mob back here and hit everybody up here. But if you move him down to this spot right here, he can actually still hit all the mobs up there by the campfire, but he also hits this one, and hits this one. He won't hit this one that's actually patrolling right here, which is fine that he misses that one, because it will patrol over here, and then your potato over here will actually hit it. So anyway, with this one, let's go ahead and take a seat here and actually get this position down, and so I can give you guys the coordinates, because like I said, this one has to be exact. You go one way, this way too much, and actually this one's kind of tricky, to be honest with you, because even going this way, sometimes you still can't hit this one even though you think you're getting closer to it, but it will throw the whole thing off. So it's right here is the perfect spot for this one, and it is 67. Okay, and you need to make sure that's exact. Of course, you can just fill it out to where you're about halfway down this hill here, I guess, and kind of somewhat to the right of this little path here, and just making sure that you're hitting all 3 of these guys. You should hit these guys up here with no problem, but it's mostly just make sure you hit all 3 of those. All right, and then your next one for group 1, you're actually going to fly all the way over here. And this is the same as, the other Wildvine farm video. It's just right here. Kind of put them right here where the grass is. And of course, they're just hitting all the mobs in this little area right here. Okay. All right. Then moving on, you go through the gate here. You go to the other encampment that's right across from the other one we checked out, where the potato is right outside of it. This one is going to be inside. And I kind of line this one up with this little bench here, but basically you just want to make sure they're in front of this doorway, hitting that mob, and lined up with that doorway to hit that mob outside, and of course they'll hit all the ones inside here as well. And that is your first group, all done. Okay, now your second group with the 3 potatoes, and the other one I had to move, and this one right here is the one that Scrog helped out with, so again, thank you, Scrog. That really helped out. The other one I have is actually right here. And basically, you just want to make sure they're down the hill enough to where they're hitting these mobs back here. They're hitting this one right here. And then they're also able to hit this one here. So like 3 different spots there. Pretty simple. Just line them up with this little tree right here. And then your next one, of course, and this is the same as the other video. It's just you want to put them, and you don't want to put them inside the encampment. There's another like encampment on the top of this hill. Now just know this potato is also not going to get any Wildvine. There's no mobs up here that drop any Wildvine whatsoever. So this is also why you want this potato in the second group for sure. All right, so they're going to hit all the mobs inside here, but they're also going to be hitting these mobs out here, and that's why you want them kind of outside. If you put them inside, it's going to mess up your farm, because you won't be able to hit these guys outside the wall here if they're too close. So you want to make sure you pull them out a little bit to where he's still in range to hit everybody inside here, but also able to hit this mob over here in the corner here as well. Because even being inside like this, you can still hit these guys, but you'll be missing the ones over there in the corner. All right, and then our last potato, which is one I had to adjust. Before, I used to either try to put them like right here. In the other video, of course, because we have more potatoes, we actually had them up here. And before, when I was doing it with a group, I was actually putting him right here. So you hit this one, hit that one. Maybe it says to hit this one over here. But the problem is this one patrols. And if you're, flying around looting, this guy's gone, you're missing that mob or until he comes back. And that could be a while. So I decided to actually put him up here to where he's hitting this mob inside of here, hitting that one. He'll also hit this one right here. And I think he might even hit another one, but he at least hits those three. Whereas this one, yeah, you'll hit three, possibly if the patrol guy is there. All right. So that's the positions all done. All right. Simple enough, right? All right. Now, the only other thing is, and this is why I think, like I said, I did have Scrog do the farm with me for like another hour over the weekend to kind of get an idea of how many Wildvine we got. We got 77. Okay. When I tried to do this by myself, I got something like 39 or something. And I was like, why is it so low? It doesn't seem right. So that's why I wanted him to do it with me, so I could see is it maybe just because of having another person there that's actually a live person, and the delay with it being now while open box, and having to activate each window. We don't have the point of killing the mobs as fast. Is that why we're not getting as much Wildvine doing it solo? Because only getting 39 for an hour seemed really low. But then I got to thinking about it. I actually thought about it when I was doing the farm with Scrog. We have a couple of spots we're not hitting, and it's only the witch doctors that actually drop the Wildvine. So, and that's why this material is so rare, and it can be like so RNG based, because only the witch doctors drop the Wildvine, and they still only have a chance to drop the Wildvine. So the problem is, if you have witch doctors spawn where you're not killing mobs, that's taking and giving you less witch doctors to actually kill. So one thing you want to make sure you do when you first start this farm, and you might even have to go back and check the spots as you're doing the, when you go through around and do your loot phases, is you want to make sure that you kill witch doctors in spots you're not killing mobs. And I'll show you those spots right now. So one of the spots you're not going to be hitting is this guy right here. So you want to make sure that it's, Skull Splitter Hunter. That's fine. You want to make sure it's not a witch doctor. Also right here. All right. And then the other one will be this guy right here. As you see, there's no witch doctors because I went ahead and make sure that I actually killed any witch doctors in these spots. All right. Then the other one is, checking on your patrol guy here, making sure that's not a witch doctor. And then you want to check right here. And this is just going behind this little area down from the bonfire on your way to where the potato was up on the hill. You'll see here in a second. You want to make sure that there's one that there isn't one right here. Now there was one actually right here when I started this hour session doing it solo. So I did actually have to kill that one. And then see, you get right here where this one is, where you kill, remember it's right here at the very entrance of the area. And then the other one is right there. And that should be all of them. Yeah, because you're killing these guys here. So this spot, again, right here, because it's out of range of your one inside that encampment and any of these. And all the ones back here behind this the bonfire and right behind here. You just want to make sure there's no witch doctors there. And then the ones over here on this side, like this one right there and these two up here. And those are the only spots you need to check. Make sure there's no witch doctors there. If they are, just kill them. During your loot phases, go back and check. Make sure that no witch doctors have respawned in their place. So that way you have more witch doctors spawning in your areas where you're actually killing mobs. Like you see, we got one right there. And we have another one right there. And so on and so forth. Okay. And that should increase the amount of Wildvine you get. Because doing this, which we're getting ready to go over the loot, we ended up getting, that was a little bit less, but I calculated up all of the Wildvine I collected with my solo group, and I got 75. So I got 77 with Scrog, and we did the same thing, and I got 75 this time compared to that 39 I got by myself the other time. So it did make a huge difference, and I'm pretty certain that's the reason why. And again, it could be less, it could be more. I know in the past I've gotten like 90 in the hour. I think even more than that. Of course, back then maybe we were killing a little bit faster with the broadcasting system when we were able to actually do that. But at the same time, it's again a very rare material. It's probably going to be a little bit more RNG based than your regular material, since it does only drop off the witch doctors, and materials still play a little bit of a RNG fact as far as how many actually drop. Alright guys, so to go over the loot here, I've taken the camera down and I'm just going to show you the bags here. So for our first potato, we got 7 of the Wildvine. You see they're valued at 583 gold. Actually, it looks like they're going for 700 gold on this realm, or well, on the auction house. That's right, there's no realms anymore for the age. Sorry about that. We got one of the Rizachi hatchlings, so awesome. And we also got the first mate hat. So, and I've actually been selling, quite a few of these the past couple weeks. So really nice, almost 50,000 in region value, and is going, posting for about that much on this realm. Let's go ahead and go to the next potato here. As you see here, we've got 15 Wildvine. So no extras, unfortunately, but we did actually get 15 Wildvine. So still pretty nice amount of Wildvine, more than the first one. As you see, they're not getting all the same amount of Wildvine, so it's a little bit RNG based. And then we have our next potato, who is up on the hill here. Ended up getting 17 of the Wildvine. Black velvet robes, not a bad piece. It is selling for pretty low on the auction house on this realm, but 23,000 in region value. And we got another first mate hat, so very nice. And then for potato 4, we ended up actually getting another Rizachi hatchling. So nice, you get pets, you get materials, possible transmog. The transmog is not that much, but it is, STV is one, like the only spot you can get that first mate hat, so it's really nice that you can get that. Along with, you saw we had black velvet robes. I have gotten some other stuff too from here before, but it's not like your other like farms where you can get transmog, but still pretty nice. 21 Wildvine on this one. And then if we go to potato 5, we actually got only 8 Wildvine, but we got 2 of the parrot pets, which is the nicer pet of the 2, and it's nice. You can actually get 2 different pets at this farm. And we got another Rizachi hatchling, so really nice there. Now the second group, which is going to start with 6, we're going to have less because they don't fly around. Again, they have a spot that has no Wildvine whatsoever as far as drops go. And yeah, they're just really helping to keep the farm going. But we do get a little bit from them. And on this one, we actually ended up getting a parrot pet. And we got 2 Wildvine. Yeah, very low. And then if we go to potato 7, who's up here on the little gateway thing here, or the wall, whatever you want to call it, we actually ended up getting 5 Wildvines, so not bad. Almost as much as potato 1 actually. But yeah, nothing else, just 5 Wildvine. And then potato 8 usually has a pretty decent chance of getting a pet because of how many mobs are around here, even though they sit still the whole time. But they got nothing. But they are essential to the farm to keep it going, as this is, there's a lot of mobs. Alright guys, well that's going to do it for the Wildvine farm with just your 8-man group. Now I know we've done Wildvine before, but before we did it with 10. Now we're down to 8, so now you can actually come out here and do it without the assistance of anybody else helping you with the farm. Which, don't get me wrong, all about people joining me and us doing the farm together, but sometimes maybe you guys don't want to do the Wildvine farm, or you're busy doing something else. So it's great to be able to actually do this farm whenever I want to, so that I can actually make sure I can keep the Wildvine stocked up on the auction house if I choose to do so. I believe it is great material. It sells for a good amount, so it's nice to be able to do that. But anyway guys, one more shout out to Scrog for helping to point out that spot that allowed us to go from only hitting 1 mob to hitting an extra 2 more mobs that helped make this farm possible. So yeah, big shout out to him. And because I've tried this multiple different ways to get it to work with just the 8-man group and could never get it to work. And I may have even tried that spot before and just got it wrong, because like I said, that is one of the spots that you have to make sure are exactly right, and that's the spot that was potato 5. I think I have the green marker on them, because one way or the other you're going to be possibly missing 1 or even 2 of those extra mobs there, and it's not going to work. So you gotta make sure you get that one exactly right, as well as the one where the blue marker was, the first potato that's in front of the cave, because one way or the other you're going to be possibly missing 2 or 1 of the mobs. And the only other thing is to make sure that you're going around before you start the farm, and even if you did have to kill some of the witch doctors when you flew around checking those spots, that you actually go back around during one of your loot phases to make sure it didn't respawn another witch doctor in one of those spots, so that you are actually getting the witch doctors to spawn where you're actually farming, so you can get the most Wildvine for your time spent out here. But anyway guys, that is going to be it for this farm video. If you guys did enjoy it, make sure you hit that thumbs up and hit the subscribe button so you make sure you don't miss the next video we'll be having come out. Also, that way you can see some of these clean out videos I've been doing, so that you can see how much gold we're making doing these farms. And don't forget to come visit us up on Twitch, where you guys can actually join me on these farms. And yeah, just see how I do a lot of this stuff. You can ask about some of these farms and the positions if you need help, or anything else. Also, I think I mentioned too on the last clean out, we will be looking to do another WoW token giveaway. We haven't done one of those in a long time. The way I used to do those is we do like the LAC tournaments, and the winner of the LAC tournament would get the WoW token. So yeah, looking to start doing that again if we get enough people interested in actually doing LACs with us. So yeah, come on, join us on Twitch if you like doing LACs and you want to possibly win a free token. Yeah, I don't know if we'll do it this weekend, as like I said, I want to see that we're actually having people interested in doing LACs and wanting to do that. So yeah, if you are, let it be known that you're interested in doing LACs, and we'll possibly get those tournaments going again. But anyway guys, that is going to be all from me tonight, and I hope to see you guys in the next video.